Welcome, welcome, welcome to Awakenings Moments to Inspire. I am Angela, and I am so honored to be with you here at this point and moment in time. It is a fabulous day for co-creating, and I can't wait to dive in and see what we co-create together. So, my name is Angel, and welcome again. If you have if you'd like to join in the chat, we are broadcasting at onenesstalkradio.com, Oneness Talk Radio at YouTube, and Oneness Talk Radio on Facebook. And if you would like to, and if you're able to, and you're in any of those chats and you want to pop in and just chat amongst yourselves, put something in the chat for me to read, to express out to all of us, or even just to say hi and co-create together with me. So by all means, please put it in the chat. I'm going to just quickly put my emails in there. So if you ever want to get in contact with me, by all means, please do so. And there we go. My apologies for taking up some time there. So, let's see here. Okay. Just wanted to get organized, and there we go. Co-creating together. Thank you so much for your patience. So on with the show. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Today is a beautiful, beautiful day. We're on the cusp of July. We just had a new moon there on Tuesday. It was absolutely glorious. I hope you were all able to soak in that energy and dance in the starlight, because beautiful, beautiful evening. And today is going to be an absolutely perfect co-creation show. I can feel it. I can feel it now. So welcome. Before we begin, usually what I like to do is something that is very near and dear to my heart. It's called the Ave Saw breath. And what it does is it allows us to come together in unison, and the open receptivity of co-create and the energy that the universe has to offer to us. So I just love to do that. It's just a practice that I like to do to open the show. It's very easy and very simple. Anyone can do it. It's when you think Ave on your inhale and you do so through your nose, it is a hail. Ave means hail, hello, greetings to the divine masculine, divine feminine, the divine spark that is in all of us. And then the saw, which is the exhale out loud. That is like a release and a surrender to the moment and to the energies at hand and to the movement that you are going to have forward, right, in your life. So we do 3 Ave Saw breaths just to ground and connect with one another. So let's do that together. So it's Ave in through your nose, out through your mouth. Okay. And we'll do it 3 times. Hand on heart, so that you make that connection with your body, so that you know it's safe. It knows that it's safe, and it understands. So here we go. Ave. Sa. Ave. Sa. One more. Ave. And always remember to smile. Smile is half of it, or maybe all of it, 3/4 of it, if you think about it, because just smiling just lights your face up. It lights your whole body up. It gets those chemicals flowing for joy and happiness and peace. Smiling at the end just is like the little cherry on top. That's what I like to think about it. So namaste, B. It is so wonderful to see you here. Thank you so much for joining us. It is an honor to have you here with us again. So Again, anybody who wishes to chat, please do so. Put it in the chat. I would love to co-create with you. Talks amongst yourselves. That's what this show is all about. It's all about inspiration and inspiring each other to go out and to be of service to others and to be of service for your communities, right? So that's, and the inspiration that you take here from this show, we can take out into the day for whatever it is that you wish to co-create today, whether it's at work or at school or just out and about in your community, being of service to others. So that's what this show is all about, is inspiring, right? And today we're going to do some great stories that I have lined up, some beautiful sharings as well. I'm hoping to do a meditation at the end. Everyone sees those. So we'll end again with our brief meditation, just to say, leave with the energies together. And then, but to begin with, I always like to start with the ascended numerology for the day. And if those of you who don't know what ascended numerology, you need to go to shriankira.com. They Kira brought ascended numerology to the world several years ago, and it was an honor to be able to learn from this beautiful master. So I was able to tune into the ascended numerology for today, which is a 5, which is very, very interesting. So it's the 5-pointed star. It's the revealing of truth and the action taken from that truth revealed, right? So I thought it was very perfect considering the topic that I wanted to discuss today, which is about truth and reconciliation and co-creation with Indigenous people. So it worked perfectly. I didn't even imagine when I chose this topic, and I wanted to talk to something about that was near and dear to my heart. And I looked at today's ascended numerology. I was like, of course it's a 5. It would have to be a 5, right? So I was feeling into what today means, coming from the 5, from that unity and the movement of action and truth revealed, basically, is what 5 is about. And again, it was perfect for today's topic. And so when I was feeling into it, this is what came up for me this morning. 5 is all that is illuminated that was hidden is now illuminated. Sorry, all that was hidden is now illuminated. You may not want to look at it. You may not want to acknowledge it, but it is there. Turn and face it. See it for what it is, a gift, an opportunity to expand and to ascend your vibration. Look inward at the truth and the deceptions that you may hold. Open yourself up to seeing them, acknowledging them, feeling them, releasing them with love and without judgment. The deceptions that are weighing you down, release them. With these deceptions released, the 5 points of the star will act as your anchor points in peace, love, truth, or peace, love, joy, truth, and reconciliation. Step into the inspired action of the truth that is before you. So that is what came to me this morning when I felt into the ascended number, the ascended numerology for today, which is, again, a 5. And if you want to learn more about ascended numerology, which is basically the path that your soul is taking in this incarnation. And if you want to learn more, again, please go to shriankira.com. My beloved Blue Jay is in the front yard singing away. He always shows up when I'm doing my broadcasts. I think it's amazing. Thank you, Mr. Blue Jay, for that blessing. I don't know if you were able to hear him or not, but he was definitely there. But now he's got me off track, and now I have to figure out where I was again. So if you want, and again, also, if you're wishing to have, oh, hello, my beloved puppy would like to say hello. We are having a day of everyone piping in and saying hello today. So we're just going to let her out the door. And thank you. We'll let her out. My apologies, everyone. My apologies. So if you're, I also have been gifted with by Lady Kira Ra. And if you are would like to honor me with doing a scroll on your behalf, I would love to do so. So please contact me. You can go to my website. It's waters of self-ascension.com, or again, you can reach me at any of those emails above that I put there in the chat. So there. So today's topic that I wanted to talk to you about was finding inspiration among healing and collaboration with the Indigenous peoples of Mother Gaia. And I was going to speak to it because I'm unfortunately don't have a guest, but I am going to speak to it a little bit on from my perspective, and then I was going to share a lovely story that I learned as a child, the very first Indigenous story that I ever learned, and it's about the creation of Turtle Island. So I'll share that a little bit later. But first, I have to share and shine bright lights on people who've inspired me, and two people that have inspired me. One has been my inspiration almost my entire life. And the other one I have not yet personally met, but she has been inspiring me for well over a year. And the first is my mentor, and her name is Valerie Wheatung. She is a beautiful, beautiful Indigenous soul who has helped me through life, so many ups and downs, and has always been one of my greatest inspirations. So I just wanted to say shout out to her, and also a shout out to Mallory over at tribaltradeco.com and Tribal Trade Co. YouTube. She has some beautiful, beautiful videos out there. And if you ever get a chance to touch base with her and her teachings, please do so, because it is a real treat. And again, it's tribaltradeco.com. And so she is, Mallory herself is part of the inspiration for today's show. I was touching base because we're coming up on Canada Day here in Canada. And we're also in the path of what we call truth and reconciliation. And for those of you who do not know what truth and reconciliation is, it is a government mandate that we have just been given to learn what has happened with the history of our Indigenous communities by the government of Canada. And it has come to light. Where shall we begin? Let's begin at the beginning. Just to give a brief overview, and again, if you want to touch base a little bit more in depth, again, I encourage you, please go to Mallory's videos. But for well over the last century, the Canadian government had, through several different time periods, taken children from the from the native reserves, the Indigenous reserves, and basically took control over the reserves. This was in the Indian Act in the 1800s, and because of that, they decided that they were going to assimilate the native population in and among the white settlers of the area. And so basically what they did was they set up various schools throughout Canada, mostly church run, mostly by the Catholic Church. And they basically removed children school-age children between the ages of 4 and 17 from their homes and from their families. And they were forced to go to these schools where they were not allowed to speak their language. They were not allowed to wear their clothes. They were not allowed to celebrate their culture. And they were forced assimilated into white culture. And throughout the course of that, many of these children never returned home. And since that, since 2021, we have here in Canada several Indigenous communities who've had residential schools there have found several unmarked graves of children who are no longer with us, nor did we know that where they were or how they had passed. So the truth and reconciliation is about understanding and embracing what we have done as a nation to the Indigenous in our country. And the government is stepping up um, as best they can, and we have this mandate now where the Truth and Reconciliation Committee has put out that all Canadians will now learn about truth and reconciliation and what it truly means. And so that's a very brief history. The last residential school was closed in the 1990s here in Canada, so it's a very long, widespread wound, I guess is the easiest word to say there. And but the Indigenous community is stepping forward, and there are allies that are wanting to join hand in hand with them to uncover the truth and to help heal and move forward as a country and as a nation. And we now fly our flags at half-mast, and will continue to do so as community speaks forward and says that it's time to do so. So these are the small gestures that are happening, that are visible, and I believe hopefully the school systems will be having these lessons taught throughout Canada. Some of it has been taught in pockets throughout Canada, but now it will be mandated Canada-wide. That's my understanding anyway. And so that is the wound that we're trying to heal here in Canada. And I just want to I want to personally say I'm sorry, I guess. I have Indigenous ancestry, or I grew up with the understanding that I had Indigenous ancestry. So whether I do or whether for me, it is deep and it is personal. So I feel you, and I'll never understand you because I was never raised in that culture or community. But it is my sincerest hope that moving forward, that I will be embracing and adopting as much of my heritage as possible in all aspects of it. And I encourage everybody to do that, whether you're, Caucasian, white, Black, whether you're of mixed origins, go out there, embrace your heritage, dance in it for all the joy that it has, right? And if it has a dark side, don't turn away from that. Acknowledge it, understand it, learn from it without the judgment. Take the judgment away, right? The judgment's always part of the problem, right? So if we take the judgment away and we say, I am open to experiencing and understanding my culture and others' cultures, what a world we can build, eh? That would be fabulous. So I wanted to speak on behalf of who I am as a person who grew up as a Caucasian person, but a person who wished to embrace her Native heritage as much as possible. And truth and reconciliation is as much an internal conflict within me and as an individual as it is within the country. And it's releasing judgment, right? It's releasing judgment. And opening your arms and saying, I am willing to learn and I am willing to listen. And if you don't want to talk to me, I also understand it is not your responsibility to teach me. And I will respect that, and to be open and say that is okay. These are all things that we can do to embrace our Indigenous communities that are around us. And I think to embrace each other. It's just common sense. It's not even just for Indigenous peoples too, to try and get to know them. It's to try and get to know anybody. Just be open and honest with who you are and where you're coming from, and talk to people and smile at people. And if you come into a greeting or an event with that energy, think of how you can shift the energy of that other person and make their day that much brighter and that much better. And the Indigenous have such beautiful, beautiful ways and beliefs that are humbling, and they have a connection with the earth. They don't understand. It's more of a now moment. Live in the now moment, rather than the past, and move into the future, but live in the now moment. That's what, for me, the Indigenous, that's just right there is the best lesson that you can ever learn from them, is live in the now moment. Find the joys of the now, whether it's cleaning kitty litter, typing up a letter, or cooking a meal for your family. Find the joy in doing those things, right? And then find the joy in ceremony, coming together as a group, as whether it be, again, in a sweat lodge or at your dinner table. Come together as a group, open, understanding, and being yourself, and not hiding behind things that you are worried about. Like, what will other people say and think? What will other, the stereotypes that you might have in your own mind might also be a very large block to getting to know Indigenous communities, or to become allies with Indigenous communities, is that you might be afraid that you are stepping on toes, or that you are, that you don't want to interfere or to cause harm any further. And I think maybe, because that I completely understand that, because that is a frame of mind that I had once had. Even though I had Indigenous heritage, I felt that I didn't want to harm any further. And so I didn't want to try and press forward with learning more and more about my heritage. And then I decided that we're all people, and we're all human, and we're all together here now. And we need to coexist together, and we need to communicate with each other, and find out and one another for what we can each bring to the table, right? So coming forward and stepping forward and saying, no, I'm going to learn about my Indigenous community, or no, I'm going to become an Indigenous ally. That in and of itself is an amazing step. And to know who you are and why you're doing it, is, and being able to convey that to the Indigenous community, that is amazing as well. And those steps that you need to take in order to embrace yourself and embrace the Indigenous communities around you. And maybe eventually you'll take part in ceremonies, you'll take part in sweat lodges, you'll be able to go powwow. If your Indigenous community ever offers an open powwow to the public, please, I highly encourage, because they are such amazing events. The energy, songs, the drums, the dancing, the jingle dresses, the heritage, it just exudes from everybody. And it is an absolute joy and honor to watch. It really, truly is. And I just encourage anybody to please go to a powwow if you ever get a chance, and really immerse yourself in that, because it is a wonderful event. What else can we do? I wrote them all down. I did write them all down. Yes, be open, be honest, share the experiences with your Indigenous allies, and share your experiences, from other experiences with allies. So talk about who you are, and why you're there, and how you want to be of service, and can you be of service? Can you be of aid? Is there, what would you like us to do? Always, I think a good rule of thumb would probably be, always connect with the Indigenous first before you make a move. Ask them what they want, what they need. They're people just like you and us. They're able to express themselves. reconnect with yourself deep in your heart, and you will know the answers, and you will know the questions, and you will be able to reconnect with yourself and them on such a deep, deep level. And I definitely encourage that. Um, the more connections, the more in experience that you can bring, the better. That's what I wrote. Yeah. So I hope the other thing to talk about today too was just to tell how the first outreach that I ever had with my Indigenous community. I was very fortunate that I grew up in an area where I had Indigenous reserves very close by. And in fact, were somewhat integrated within the community themselves. And so, and my mentor herself is Indigenous. So I grew up immersed with it somewhat. And so I was very, very fortunate that way. But some people aren't. But I also was very fortunate. I believe it was in kindergarten, and it was the very first story I'd ever learned. And we were able to bring in someone came in from the reserve. I don't know their name. They were a beautiful, beautiful soul. And they told us a beautiful story about North America and Turtle Island and how, and that's what the Indigenous here, the Ojibwa and the Anishinaabe call Turtle Island. And they told this story back, oh my goodness, now we're going back 45 years ago, and I still remembered it, and it still struck home. And when I reconnected with the story, I just pulled up several on YouTube, and there were some beautiful stories and renditions about it there. And just reconnecting with it brought out all of these memories about just sitting there in awe and listening to the storyteller, listening to the Indigenous, it was a gentleman, tell the story of it was Nanabush. He said Nanabush at the time. Say Nanabozo, I believe, or Bush, Nanabusho. And he just exuded this wisdom and radiance and power. And I remember just sitting there in awe as like a little 5-year-old, just wide-eyed and listening to the story. So I wanted to share that with you too, just to helpfully ignite that spirit within you. And it's the story of how Turtle Island came to be. And it's a second creation story, and it's very similar to that that's depicted in the Bible as well. So basically, the great creator God um, had sent a flood because he was not happy with the wicked ways of the people that were here before. And so he decided that he was going to send water to cleanse the earth. And he sent this great, great flood to cleanse the earth. And one of the only creatures to survive was a man that was named Nanabusho or Nanabush. And Nanabush is said to be the son of a mortal woman and of the spirit of the West. So he is a demigod, more or less. And Nanabush was one of the few to survive, along with several other water creatures and birds. And Nanabush was able to find a log, and he swam to it. He swam, and he pulled himself up onto the log, tired, and looking around. The skies had cleared. There was no rain. He could see miles and miles, but there was only water, water, water everywhere. And one by one, the creatures that had survived the flood had swum up to Nanabush or flown down to Nanabush onto the log, and they greeted him and said hello. And there was the walrus and the seal and the loon and the muskrat and the beaver. And they all greeted Nanabush, and they saw that Nanabush was very tired and that he would need shelter and a place to land soon, or he could die. And so they were growing very, very concerned about Nanabush. And he he said, we could possibly do something maybe if I could get a piece of land, a piece of dirt, a piece of soil. Maybe I can do something with that. Maybe I can create something with that. But where are we going to get soil? It's nothing but water everywhere. And so the walrus thought, I know, we'll go to the bottom. I'll swim to the bottom. I'm the biggest, I'm the strongest, I'm the most powerful one here. I can swim to the bottom. I will get the soil for Nanabush and I will bring it back up. And so the walrus took one ginormous and took a deep breath, and he dove down under the water, and he swam and he swam and he swam and he swam. 10 minutes passed, 15 minutes passed, 20 minutes passed, and still no walrus. And then a few moments later, there was this sputtering and this splashing, this huge splash just off to the side, and everyone turned to see walrus breaking the surface, coughing and sputtering and flapping his fins, his flippers, and taking deep breaths. I couldn't reach the bottom. I couldn't even see the bottom. The bottom is nowhere to be seen. Oh, what are we going to do, Nanabush? I don't know. I'm the biggest and strongest. Nobody else is going to be able to make the bottom. And the seal stepped in and he said, but walrus, I'm faster than you. Maybe I can make the bottom. Maybe, just maybe. So the great seal, he decided that he was going to try. And then they swam off to the side and they took one great big deep breath. Down they went, and he swam. And 10 minutes went by, 15, 20, 25. And then a few moments later, again, this big sputtering roar came to the surface. And they looked off to the side, and there was Seal coughing and choking and unable to breathe. He's gasping for air. I went down as far as I could. I couldn't see the bottom. I couldn't even reach it. I don't think we're ever going to reach soil. What are we going to do? And one by one, each of the creatures, the loon, the beaver, they all took their turns trying to get down to the bottom. None of them could reach the bottom to bring up soil for Nanabush to use to create with. The turtle tried. They couldn't even reach the bottom. And then finally, the last little creature left was just a small little muskrat, a tiny, tiny little muskrat. And she raised her little paw and said, I will try. I will try for Nanabush. I will go to and I will bring up soil for Nanabush. I will help Nanabush and take care of Nanabush so he can create. And all of the other bigger creatures just looked at this tiny little muskrat and they laughed and they laughed. And no way, little muskrat, you're never going to reach the bottom. If I couldn't reach the bottom, if we couldn't reach the bottom, there's no way you can reach the bottom. And she said, no, I'm going to try, and I'm going to reach the bottom for Nanabush. So the little muskrat paddled out, and she took her last deep, 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 deep breath. And down she went. Well, 10 minutes went by. 15 minutes went by. 20 minutes went by. 25, 30, 35, 40 minutes went by, and Muskrat still hadn't returned. Oh no. Oh, where's Muskrat? They all thought. And then off to the side, they heard this little bloop noise and this little and there was Muskrat floating on the surface. And all the creatures rushed over to him, and they pulled him over to the log to Nanabush. And Nanabush bent down and scooped up the little muskrat in his hands. And he looked down at the muskrat, and she took her last breath. And when she did so, she opened her little palm, and in her little hand, she held some soil. The little muskrat, tiniest of all, made it to the bottom and brought up soil so that Nanabush could make something and create something with that. Nanabush took the soil from the little muskrat's paw and sat her gently down on the log. And then he looked around and thought, what can I do with this? And the turtle stepped forward and he said, I will carry the soil for you, Nanabush, in honor of the muskrat. I will take that burden on in honor of her. And so Nanabush took the soil that Muskrat had so carefully brought to the surface in her tiny, tiny little paw, and he placed it on the carapace of the turtle, on the back of the turtle. And then all of a sudden, the land began to grow and expand and grow and expand even more, even further and greater and wider. Grass began to grow on the back of the turtle. Trees began to sprout. Rivers and lakes all began to flow and wave in the wind. This island, this turtle island that Nanabush created in honor of Muskrat, is what we call North America. And this is the story of how Turtle Island came to be because of the spirit of a tiny, tiny, tiny little muskrat. And this is the story of Turtle Island. And that's what I wanted to share with you today. And I hope you enjoyed it all so much as I did in sharing it. There's so many great stories out there that are waiting to be told, but so many great stories of deep, deep wisdom that are being returned to their proper rightful place and origin in the pantheon of beautiful stories of creation and myth. And it is an honor to be able to bring this one to you. Again, there are so many. The Ojibwa have another one that is with regards to the beloved Pleiades. And it is another great story with regards to children and wanting to expand their knowledge and expand their belief, and their elders are trying to hold them back. And they learn this sacred dance, this sacred ceremony adults are meant to perform. And because they perform it, the creator God enjoyed it so much, he took them to heaven, and they become these children become the Pleiades, the seven sisters, as we like to call them. So that's another beautiful story by the Ojibwa Indigenous here in Canada. The seven grandfathers is that they bestowed the seven teachings of, and I can't possibly do them justice. So please, I highly ask you to go to Tribal Trade Co. YouTube channel and watch their videos, because Mallory does such beautiful telling of the seven grandfathers' wisdoms and teachings. So please go there and check them out, because they're fabulous. Welcome to all of you that are here. Lovely Patricia and Batia. It's so great to see you here, and to everyone else who is out there listening, welcome. I hope you're enjoying the day and everything is wonderful for you. Oh, I also wanted to speak briefly, very briefly. I meant to do this at the beginning, but we're putting it in now. Everything is all in all perfect divine order, right? I just wanted to talk to you about something called that we are doing among the Yoga of Self-Ascension community and Minga, the Yoga of Self-Ascension Minga. They are coming together 7 days of hope. And what it is I just wrote it down very quickly. It's 7 minutes, holding 7 minutes of mastery presence, holding that peace, love, joy, and neutrality, and opening yourself up to the gifts of the universe. And to do that for 7 minutes with the idea of having yourself and your universal community in one big hug and receptivity from the universe. And just to hold that mastery presence for 7 minutes. Just think, if we all do that for 7 minutes, the shift that we can create, right? It's all if we all come together, coming together, better together, right? So that's the 7 days of hope. And I believe if you want to learn a little bit more about that, you can go again to shriandkira.com. I'm pretty sure they have something up there about that. And some of the other hosts on Oneness Talk Radio have also been speaking about it too. So I'm sure you can tune into any one of their shows and they'll talk about it as well. And I'm sure another thing they'll talk about too is the great butterfly energy that is being experienced right now this week. It's our cocoons. We're coming out of our cocoons, everyone. Stretch your wings. Let them sit out in the sun. Let them dry off. But don't wait too long. Just lift off. Lift off in the air. Take flight. Once those wings dry out, don't sit there and dawdle. Just do it. Just take flight. You can do it. So embrace the butterfly in you. That's what I think we should take away today. Embrace the butterfly in you for sure. So how much time? Oh, perfect timing. Oh, thank goodness. I didn't want to go over too much because I really did enjoy doing the meditations with you guys at the end of each show. I really, really am enjoying them. And I do hope that you're enjoying them as well. So if you want to take a drink, get yourself settled, get yourself wherever you are. If you're driving or need to be aware, please just come back to this video another time and sit with the meditation afterwards. And I hope that you truly enjoyed today's show and all that was brought to you. And again, I encourage you to go out and just go talk to the Indigenous in your communities. Embrace them, see what they have to say, understand and open yourself up, communicate with them. We're all people, we're all human. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. All right. Get yourself comfortable. And I'm going to do, again, just 3 deep Ave Sa breaths to kind of get us centered and ready to move forward with the meditation. So hand to heart one more time. And we're going to do 3 deep Ave Sa breaths. And here we go. Ave. Sa. Ave. Sa. Ave. Sa. Oh. The crickets are starting to chirp. The frogs are starting to croak. You can hear them now from your window. The sun is beginning to set. The sky is that beautiful purple turquoise pink that's just like cotton candy. You just want to reach out and touch it. The lake. Oh, you can feel it. It is singing to you now as you open your door and you step off your porch and you step onto the trail leading. You don't even need to have your eyes open. You know the way. You can feel the way. You can feel the life popping up all around you along the path, the honeysuckles, the poison ivy, the ferns, the maple trees, that lone willow over there. No, you know the way. There below the majestic pines is your beautiful, beautiful lake. You rush down to the water's edge and you kick your shoes off and you roll your pant legs up. The crickets are chirping and the frogs are just croaking. The loon is calling out in the distance and her echo is just reverberating off the trees. All the stars are beginning to come out, winking on like little wee fireflies in a tapestry of purple and dark blue. With a giggle, you step out onto the dock and you plunk yourself down on the edge and plunge your feet into the cool, crisp water. You look down and there are minnows darting in and among your toes, trying to nibble on them. And you see the big, glorious sunfish, blue, green, iridescent yellow, just doing a lazy figure 8 between your legs. And then you hear a bloop, bloop, and a swooshing sound on the surface. And you smile, knowing exactly what it is. And you look over, there it is, coming out of the mud, coming out of the muck, your lily pad, your throne, the magic carpet that has taken you on so many glorious rides before, and that is waiting to take you on yet another one. You smile and stand as it grows larger and larger and stronger until it's large enough to hold your weight. And you step down onto the lily pad and you take your rightful place on top of its throne, on top of the lotus of North America. You are at peace, love, and joy in this moment. And you sigh, just feeling into it. You close your eyes, you sit cross-legged, and you go deep, deep within. You feel that warmth beginning to radiate from the center of your being. It takes over the core of you. It goes up into your chest and out into your limbs. You can feel the warmth under your legs and under your bottom as the lotus begins to lift you high into the air, up, 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 into the starry, starry night. Van Gogh has nothing on tonight. The stars are beautiful. They're out in all their glory, every hanging jewel. The new moon was only 2 days ago, and soon Mother Moon will be winking her eye out at us all once again. But for now we just enjoy the jewels hanging in the dark velvet sky. We climb higher and higher, up into the clear sky, high enough that we can look down, and we can see all of Turtle Island in all of its glory, right from the top of its head, up in the Canadian Arctic, down across its carapace, through the prairies, and through the United States, through the deserts and through the mountains, down, down, down to her tail, his tail, into the Yucatan, into Mexico, where it joins with South America. This grand, large, beautiful turtle carrying the weight of this ginormous North America in honor of a wee creature. Look at her beauty and her majesty. Look at all that was created upon her back by Nana Bush. All of the trees and the animals. were named by Nana Bush, the co-creator. All of the moose, the deer, the boar. Look at them all. They're glorious. Look at the fish of the sea, of the rivers, of the lakes. See them shimmer below the water. See them swim in their schools, jumping through the surface and splashing around with joy. Oh, glorious, glorious fish. The salmon who swim upstream. Yes, they fight that current just to bring new life into this world. The strength they must have. Feel into that. Feel into the strength of North America and all that she has to offer. Feel the gifts. See the gifts. Embrace the gifts. Embrace the people that are there, those that see you and those that don't. Remember, all have the right to be. Give them love. Give them light. Give them all love. Give them all light. All creatures on Turtle Island. Embrace them. Love them. Do you see the point with which you started? Do you see the shining lake? Not yet. I think we need to descend a little more to see the shining lake, to see our home and how she connects to Turtle Island, whether it's on Turtle Island or whether it's elsewhere on Mother Gaia. Connect with your lake now. Descend and see it for all that it is. It is the lifeblood of Mother Gaia. Again, whether it's on Turtle Island or anywhere else in the world, this gift of the shining lake, you smile and are thankful as you descend with great gratitude, peace, love, and joy. Again, you reach out across the world as you descend, and you send your love throughout the world, to every corner, to every light, to every being. Peace, love, and joy fills you, and you again receive it, and from there spread it out into the world. You're descending slower to your shining jewel winking up at you. You see it. You hear now, just very faintly off in the distance, those crickets and those indelible frogs. Yes, you can hear them. And there's the loon. Yes, yes, yes. Descending even more. Your lily pad flits onto the surface of the water. It comes to a sliding rest right up to the dock's edge. You smile and say thank you. Thank you once again for this glorious sight that you have, and gifts that you have given me. Thank you for the lovely, lovely journey that you have taken me on. I will embrace the teachings and the sights that were before me today, and I will take them out into the world with me, and I will spread that energy, that peace, that love, that joy, and I will be of service to others in unconditional love in all that I do. This is who I am, and this is who I wish to be. The lily pad does a deep bow and descends below the surface. Back below the surface to the mud with which it grew, where it waits for you once again. Until the next time you look around, it is really dark now, and the sky is just lit up with the Milky Way. You give one last Ave Sa breath. You bask in the stillness, the honor, and the beauty of it all. You give thanks, and you turn. Again, not needing to see, you can feel home. Back up the trail towards home. You wave to the willow. You wave to the poison ivy. You wave to the honeysuckle, for they all have their place. And you thank Mother Gaia for all that she has given you. And when you're home, behind you with deep satisfaction, and you open your eyes once again. I hope you all enjoyed that as much as I did, and that you were able to connect with it as deeply as I did. So I hope you're able to return to this video as often as you feel called to, and that you're able to connect with the place that I like to call home, Turtle Island. And I am complete. Namaste. Until next week, everyone.